Vainglory community. It's Playoff Beard here on Update Day for Update 2.10. Lorelei is incoming, and this should be a pretty short stream. That's why I'm here all alone, because this is our first essentially zero downtime deployment of a Vainglory update, a huge milestone here for Loquori and his team internally. Basically, that means Vainglory Update 2.10 is already on the App Store. You should. It sometimes takes a little bit of time to propagate. Some people see it sooner than others, depending on your App Store. But essentially, you should be able to go to the App Store and download Update 2.10 already. So you will probably, if you open the Vainglory app, it'll probably say that we're updating right now. Just go get the new one, and you should be able to play. It's as simple as that. So that's pretty cool. This will be a very short stream. We are going to debut the Lorelei Hero Spotlight. I'll quickly run through what you can expect in this update, but feel free to not listen to me at all. The moment you can get Update 2.10 working, go ahead and play, and away we go. All right, so with that, let's take a quick look at the Lorelei Hero Spotlight, and then we'll talk about it.
You look like you need a hug. I understand. A solo queue is hard sometimes. Maybe join a guild.
Get off my lawn.
And a beautifully manicured lawn it is.
Watching you fight is like watching a fish attempt to jog up a mountain.
That's quite specific.
Play!
No, my friend.
Now time to bleed!
So salty.
Welcome to the Vainglory Hero Spotlight, featuring Lorelei. Lorelei is a happy sea creature who enjoys her simple life of piranha dancing and clam gossip. Once every 1,000 years, she follows Adagio's song to the surface and brings him a dragon egg in exchange for a hearty orange. But one day, the Storm Queen sings Adagio's song and takes several eggs away. Only then does Lorelei discover that the dragons are being used to destroy the race of men. Now, aware of the truth and her complicity, Lorelei is determined to make up for releasing widespread destruction upon the world. Lorelei is a hero who controls the ebb and flow of teamfights, and it all revolves around her heroic perk, That's Swell. Whenever she casts one of her abilities, it creates a water source on the battlefield for a few seconds. Standing in the water empowers Lorelei, passively granting her bonus crystal power. The next ability that she casts while in water will gain an additional effect and consume the water source. Her basic attacks also deal bonus crystal damage, and that damage scales with her overall crystal power. Lorelei's first ability, Fish Food, targets a location and after a brief delay, summons her pet clam to stun all nearby enemies. Afterward, a pool of piranhas will persist and deal damage over time to enemies inside. If Fish Food is cast while standing in a water source, the clam will snap shut and stun sooner. Lorelei's Splashdown throws a spear of water at a target location, creating a pool after a brief delay. Allied heroes that move through the pool are sped up, while enemy heroes are slowed down. If Splashdown is cast while standing in a water source, the pool is created much sooner. Lorelei's ultimate, Water Wall, forms a protective bubble around an allied hero or herself that grants a large barrier. Once the barrier expires, a splashdown water source will appear underneath the hero, allowing for a quick speed boost to either flee or chase down enemies. Additionally, upon casting the ultimate, her target is cleansed of all movement impairing effects. If Water Wall is cast while standing in a water source, the barrier that she grants will be bigger and the protection greater. Consuming water sources to empower Lorelei's abilities is advantageous, but sometimes it's best to wait. Standing in a water pool grants a huge amount of crystal power, and that also translates into additional damage on her basic attacks. If you have a Fish Food water source out, those hungry piranhas will deal extra damage as long as Lorelei is splashing about. Smart use of the water sources to empower Lorelei's abilities is absolutely critical to turning the tides of battle. Here, the enemy team engages onto the Rhine. Lorelei swims to her ally's aid and casts a Fish Food before following it up with a Splashdown. The combination of the slowing field and the damaging pool make it difficult for the enemy heroes to finish off Rhine, and soon, those little fishies make quick work of the rebooting Alpha. Then, with her team in pursuit of the Arden, she jumps into the water source to cast a quick splashdown to speed up her allies. When she reaches the edge of her new water source, she uses an empowered fish food to deliver a stun, allowing her team to catch up and send Arden to his watery grave. Lorelei is great at shaping the battlefield to her advantage and limiting the enemy's movements. In this clip, Lorelei manages to catch Adagio out of position. The enemy Arden and Jewel rush to his aid, but this Naga has different plans for them. Once Jewel uses her rocket leap, Lorelei uses her fish food and splashdown combo to stop Jewel in her tracks, cutting her off from the rest of the team. Then, Lorelei puts a second fish food down, blocking any kind of escape. With Jewel stuck between a rock and a hungry pool of piranhas, she quickly falls to the Naga Dragon duo, and Lorelei's team gets to clean up the rest of the fight. Thanks for watching the Lorelei Hero Spotlight. Next, discover her backstory filled with dragons and a familiar face. See you next time.
All right, that is the Lorelei Hero Spotlight, and if you're just coming into the stream right now, what you're reading on the stream title is correct. There's essentially no downtime for this update. You should be able to head to your App Store now and download Update 2.10 already. If you don't see it, that means it's still propagating where you are, but it should be any moment. So this will be a very short stream. We're debuting the Lorelei Hero Spotlight. We're going to recap what's in the update briefly, but essentially as soon as you can go play, stop listening to me and go play. And having just seen the Lorelei Hero Spotlight there, this hero is strong. This hero is flexible. You can play this hero in all three roles. Lorelei is a captain primary, but Sonata, the lead hero designer, prefers her out of jungle. I see people running her in lane as a mage, a crystal mage. She is strong and very, very interesting. A lot you can do. This is a true backline hero, zone control, utility. It's very interesting. So definitely put some time into this hero to unlock her potential. And I believe today, Lorelei is 25% off. So if you look at the spotlight, if you talk to some people and it's sounding like something that is worth your ice, I would suggest you do that right away to take advantage of the discount on the hero. So it's a big day for Lorelei, for all the other things in this update. I'll run through it briefly. First, we have some really, really fun skins in this update. Some of the most fun skins I can, in recent memory, at least for me. We have Dr. Frankenflicker. That is the crazy mad scientist Flicker skin, and Flicker also getting a buff in this update. I think we're going to be seeing more Flickers into 10. A hero that really, honestly, has never been weak. Just a hero that has kind of a niche and requires a lot of APMs. You gotta kind of do a lot to get the same result as heroes like Arden or other heroes. So a hero like Flicker getting a buff, I think, is going to draw more attention to the hero. More people will realize that this hero is already, quite a good hero, especially in competitive. So I would definitely take another look at Flicker if you're not playing Flicker right now. Cage Fighter Arden. Arden has obviously been at the very top of the meta, just an incredibly powerful pick, especially since the health changes. And while his heroic perk is brought back a little bit more in line, his barrier is still crazy long, a 4-second barrier. This is a strong pick, and he's got a new skin, Cage Fighter Arden. We had some fun, Sugar Venom and I, recording some VO and her story on that with us talking about Arden versus Meat Truck. So check out the story by Sugar Venom if you haven't. Really fun skin. I love when these skins really have a different look and feel to them so that when you play the heroes, it feels like you're playing a new hero. And I feel like with Cage Fighter Arden and with Frankenflicker, you certainly get that, and it's really fun. And then Radagio, a rare skin that has just a very different profile in game. So when you can get a rare skin that, again, makes the hero kind of feel new, that's wonderful. Let me check the availability on these skins real quick so everyone knows what the deal is. So it looks like Frankenflicker direct purchase on November 15. Then we have Cage Fighter Arden November 10 in a rare mystery chest. and November 17 direct purchase, and Adagio November 15 through 22nd. There's a special Adagio talent bundle, November 22nd direct purchase, and then obviously Lorelei 25% off right now. So those are the skins. That's the hero. Quick 5v5 update. So the 5v5 work is, obviously the team is cranking on this every single day, seeing more things every single day. Some things I can't quite talk about yet, but if you are reading the stories that have been coming out about Lorelei, there's interesting things you can glean from that. For 5v5, if you've been watching on the Vainglory 8 streams in North America / Europe, Vainglory 8 streams, Munchables and the gang at the desk have been doing 5v5 segments that I think are quite good. Go back, watch the VODs, find those segments, some really interesting insight into 5v5 there. And then just generally for us as a game company, when we first started out, we made a bet that players on mobile weren't less than players on PC or console, that they wanted games every bit as strategic, every bit as deep, every bit as nuanced, every bit as core as the games on PC and console. And over the past, 2-3 years since we started this adventure with Vainglory, the market has really come to us. We've really seen more and more games come in to the space that are respecting gamers on mobile, and now we see 5v5 as kind of the extension of that mission, where we can take a no compromises approach to Vainglory 5v5, really all of the nuances, all of the detail, all of the strategic depth that you could want in a MOBA on any platform, anywhere in Vainglory 5v5. And the way this is shaping up, I'm getting more and more and more excited about it. So obviously right now the thing to do is go to 5v5.vainglorygame.com, pre-register. What does that do if you haven't done this already? If you pre-register on that site, all you need to do is put in an email. It does not need to be the same email that you use in-game to log into your account, just any email that will actually work so that we can follow up with you. If you're selected, put in your email. That will pre-register. Then there'll be a lottery and some names will be drawn. Those people will get into early access for Vainglory 5v5. There will be different phases of that. We'll be drawing more and more and more names. So you'll have more and more chances to get into 5v5 early access, to get a chance to play before 5v5 comes out, maybe even a chance to influence it before it's completely done. So definitely go and sign up for Vainglory 5v5 on 5v5.vainglorygame.com. You will also then get the 5v5 Founders Badge, which is a badge that will appear on the loading screen, and be the first to know details about 5v5 via email. So definitely go do that. And then on December 14 through the 17 is the Vainglory World Championship. This is where we'll be unveiling Vainglory 5v5 globally to everyone. We'll have 2 different exhibition matches. One of those will be a all-star match between players who are already at the tournament. The other one, we've announced that Renegades will be playing in Vainglory 5v5. We have not announced their opponent yet, so those are the 2 exhibition matches at the World Championship, which will be your first real chance to see and hear and find out all the objectives. What does everything do? How does everything work? What does everything look like? What's the emerging meta? So that will be on a number of channels. That'll be on Twitch, on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live. So definitely do not miss the World Championship. That will be in Singapore at the Kalang Theater. So if matches that are broadcast in Singapore time, if you're going to be asleep, if it's going to be 2-3 in the morning, we will of course be featuring the VODs of those matches so that you get a chance to see 5v5, as well as it's the World Championship. It's the best that Vainglory Competitive has to offer. It's going to be the best tournament we've ever done. So I'm very, very excited about that as well. What else is in this update? So in update 2.10, if you're just joining us, there is not really any downtime. You should be able to go to the App Store now, and you should be able to download the update, and you should be able to play update 2.10. If you don't see it yet, it just means it's propagating to your App Store, but it's a milestone for us. No downtime, no wait, just play, no fear, just fight. So do that. We just did the Lorelei Hero Spotlight. We'll do that again in a minute, just to run through what else is in this update. We have the skins that I talked about. We have Pro Team badges that have been added. So what is this? You can purchase or rent a badge, and that badge will appear on the loading screen to support your favorite team, Cloud9, SK, TSM, whichever team you want. That support will appear on the loading screen. 100% of the proceeds of making those ice purchases goes to the teams and supporting Vainglory competitive. That means supporting Vainglory 8 prize pools. That means supporting competitive prize pools at all levels. So all of the proceeds go directly back into esports. And if you go in the game and you don't see your favorite team, that doesn't mean we don't care about that team. It just means this is a brand new feature. We just picked a limited set of franchises and put them in the game to see if you guys care. Do you like this? Is this a feature that you're interested in? If it is a feature that you're interested in, if that's the feedback we get, if the players are saying, where's my favorite team, that's the information we need to know that this is something that's worth investing in further, and we can potentially expand the the number of badges that are available. So this is just the initial offering. Please do not freak out if your favorite team isn't there. That just means a great opportunity to tell the regional community managers, to tell Vainglory main official channels on your favorite social channel that you like this feature, that you'd like to see your team included. That's the information we need to know whether we should invest in this further or do something else. Okay, so that's where we stand on the pro team badges. And then lots of gameplay stuff as always. I'll just stay pretty top level on this in terms of what we've done with the balance. Let me pull that up. Pretty top level in terms of the heroes getting buffed. Catherine, Celeste, Flicker, Glaive, Grumpshaw, yay Grumpshaw, part of Idris, part of Sky, Samuel, Gwen, Ringo, God help Ringo, please help the Ringo, and Scarf all getting buffs. The heroes that are taking a little bit of a nerf bat. Alpha, Arden, Blackfeather, Arden and Blackfeather especially much needed. Krull, Petal, Saw was a little bit crazy. And then Baron, Kestrel, Reza, and Rhyme getting changes. Rhyme probably being the biggest of those changes, really going into much more of a bruiser role as opposed to this kind of combination bruiser and like burst mage damage. The thing to note though, if I read off a hero that's getting nerfed, that does not mean they're out of the meta. Nivmet and Zekent are all over this. Their intention is to make sure heroes aren't so strong that they blow up the meta, but that they are viable, you can play them, you can enjoy them, and that they are still a part of the meta. So hopefully, even for heroes like Arden, Blackfeather, Alpha, Krull, Saw, these heroes that have had a really good time in 2.9, just because they get brought in line, it does not mean they're going out of the meta. I would expect that you'll be seeing all of those heroes still in Update 2.10, and Update 2.10 is the World Championship update, so Lorelei can be played at the World Championship, and I still expect to see a lot of those heroes who got changes or nerfs being played at the World Championship. So in terms of, is there anything else I should go over here? Talents, there weren't a lot of changes to talents. We're letting kind of everything settle in. Reflex block, and that includes Aegis, etc. The duration has been increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. That will last longer. That, I think, will be an interesting change. People have been having fun calling out the 1% difference in Aftershock. See if you can feel that yourself. Other items seeing some balance. We have Clockwork, we have Atlas Pauldron, Breaking Point, Crucible, Echo, all of the energy stuff. Energy was a theme. Check out the update notes. Energy was a theme to the changes in this update. Tornado Trigger was getting stacked, like people were stacking 3-4 Tornado Triggers. That's not really a thing. If you've been wanting to see the Dragon Eye stacks in the Spectator, you can see that now. There are some balance fixes. Zoom in and zoom out functionality has been added to tablets. This is something that's been on phones for quite a while. So I'm happy to see that. And as you're going through the Heroes tab, the top part will show and hide intuitively, kind of like you're used to on your phone. And that's actually quite nice. It's a subtle thing that makes a big difference. So a nice change there. So with that, Shinkaigen, if you'd be so kind, let's show the Lorelei Hero Spotlight one more time, debuting this Spotlight for anyone who came into the stream late. But again, you should just be able to go play Update 2.10 already. Tell us if you can't. So with that, let's take one more look at the Spotlight. But you shouldn't be listening to me. You should be playing Vainglory.
You look like you need a hug. I understand. A solo queue is hard sometimes. Maybe join a guild.
Get off my lawn.
And a beautifully manicured lawn it is.
Watching you fight is like watching a fish attempt to jog up a mountain.
That's quite specific.
Blade!
No, my friend.
Now time to bleed!
So salty.
Welcome to the Vainglory Hero Spotlight, featuring Lorelei. Lorelei is a happy sea creature who enjoys her simple life of piranha dancing and clam gossip. Once every 1,000 years, she follows Adagio's song to the surface and brings him a dragon egg in exchange for a hearty orange. But one day, the Storm Queen sings Adagio's song and takes several eggs away. Only then does Lorelei discover that the dragons are being used to destroy the race of men. Now, aware of the truth and her complicity, Lorelei is determined to make up for releasing widespread destruction upon the world. Lorelei is a hero who controls the ebb and flow of teamfights, and it all revolves around her heroic perk, That's Swell. Whenever she casts one of her abilities, it creates a water source on the battlefield for a few seconds. Standing in the water empowers Lorelei, passively granting her bonus crystal power. The next ability that she casts while in water will gain an additional effect and consume the water source. Her basic attacks also deal bonus crystal damage, and that damage scales with her overall crystal power. Lorelei's first ability, Fish Food, targets a location and after a brief delay, summons her pet clam to stun all nearby enemies. Afterward, a pool of piranhas will persist and deal damage over time to enemies inside. If Fish Food is cast while standing in a water source, the clam will snap shut and stun sooner. Lorelei's Splashdown throws a spear of water at a target location, creating a pool after a brief delay. Allied heroes that move through the pool are sped up, while enemy heroes are slowed down. If Splashdown is cast while standing in a water source, the pool is created much sooner. Lorelei's ultimate, Water Wall, forms a protective bubble around an allied hero or herself that grants a large barrier. Once the barrier expires, a splashdown water source will appear underneath the hero, allowing for a quick speed boost to either flee or chase down enemies. Additionally, upon casting the ultimate, her target is cleansed of all movement impairing effects. If Water Wall is cast while standing in a water source, the barrier that she grants will be bigger and the protection greater. Consuming water sources to empower Lorelei's abilities is advantageous, but sometimes it's best to wait. Standing in a water pool grants a huge amount of crystal power, and that also translates into additional damage on her basic attacks. If you have a Fish Food water source out, those hungry piranhas will deal extra damage as long as Lorelei is splashing about. Smart use of the water sources to empower Lorelei's abilities is absolutely critical to turning the tides of battle. Here, the enemy team engages onto the Rhine. Lorelei swims to her ally's aid and casts a Fish Food before following it up with a Splashdown. The combination of the slowing field and the damaging pool make it difficult for the enemy heroes to finish off Rhine, and soon, those little fishies make quick work of the rebooting Alpha. Then, with her team in pursuit of the Arden, she jumps into the water source to cast a quick Splashdown to speed up her allies. When she reaches the edge of her new water source, she uses an empowered Fish Food to deliver a stun, allowing her team to catch up and send Arden to his watery grave. Lorelei is great at shaping the battlefield to her advantage and limiting the enemy's movements. In this clip, Lorelei manages to catch Adagio out of position. The enemy Arden and Jewel rush to his aid, but this Naga has different plans for them. Once Jewel uses her Rocket Leap, Lorelei uses her Fish Food and Splashdown combo to stop Jewel in her tracks, cutting her off from the rest of the team. Then, Lorelei puts a second Fish Food down, blocking any kind of escape. With Jewel stuck between a rock and a hungry pool of piranhas, she quickly falls to the Naga Dragon duo, and Lorelei's team gets to clean up the rest of the fight. Thanks for watching the Lorelei Hero Spotlight. Next, discover her backstory filled with dragons and a familiar face. See you next time.
All right, that is the Lorelei Hero Spotlight. I am Playoff Beard, and I am joined now by Super Evil Megacorp CEO Christian Segerstrelli at the Shred. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
So what's happened here is that Locoria and the team, they've asked that we stay on air for about another 30 minutes just to make sure that Update 2.10 has propagated to the App Store where you are. Again, zero downtime deploy this time. You should be able to just go to the App Store and just play. But we're going to stay on air just to make sure everyone gets in the game before we leave. That gave me a chance to bring it at the Shred, and I think the thing that, the players are excited about Lorelei, they're excited about Update 2.10, but everyone wants any last little detail they can glean about 5v5. I think you have probably been in more 5v5 playtests than anyone outside of the designers who are specifically creating the mode. What can you tell us?
Well, I will tell you this. My rank nearly decayed on live last week because all of my play was in 5v5 playtests. So, yeah, so that says something. No, I'm incredibly addicted to a 5v5 already now. I mean, of course, it's still early. We're still adjusting balance a lot. But just the sheer depth of different strategic choices is something that literally keeps me up at night right now because between the rotational strategies, and especially as a captain main, trying to figure out even where I should be at different times is really, really interesting. There are really good reasons to be supporting lane, really good reasons to be supporting jungle, and overall I still find myself in the wrong place far too often in these playtests, and I'm trying to figure it out. I really appreciate the help from the early PBE crowd telling me where I should not be, at least at the right time. So it's a whole new set of learning, and I'm really excited about it.
And a lot of our longtime players especially, one of the things they seem most excited about for 5v5 is like, it just freshens everything up that they've been playing on this Halcyon Fold 3v3 map for so long with the one lane and the jungle, and just the potential, the possibilities of so many different things that can happen is something that's really exciting them. Even just something as simple as like, if you leave the lane in Halcyon Fold, okay, well, you go a little bit, maybe you went to the jungle shop. If you made a bad call, you just run right back up there. You leave a lane in 5v5, you're probably losing a turret, maybe more. Like, it's a big deal to make these choices in a 5v5 context.
Yeah, that's right. And again, as a captain main, like the thing that I'm most passionate about is thinking about objective control, thinking about how to play the map, not just how to fight the enemy team. And the thing that I like on the 3v3 map, I think one of the fun things about the Halcyon Fold was how the vision game in particular was in some ways so easy, and we did change things around, over time in terms of introducing the flare gun and changing a little bit how scout traps worked and how flares worked. But one of the things that I'm really enjoying right now is the evolution of the vision and the counter vision game in the 5v5 map, because that obviously has a much bigger impact on the game, because in the Halcyon Fold, once you've played like 1,000+ games, you have a pretty good idea where the opponent is. At the end of the day, there's only so many places where you can be on that map. Whereas in the 5v5 map, especially how Zeeken and Ciderhelm are designing the objectives and the rotations and the incentives on the map, there really are multiple places where you could potentially want to be at different times, and making sure that sort of, as a captain main that likes to think about these things, figuring out how to sort of thwart the opposing team's intent, and figuring out how do we check if they are truly going to do that thing that I think they're going to want to do, and figuring out how between both making sure that we have sufficient vision, but also denying the enemy vision of things that we may want to do in the future. There are things that I love, and I really love the level of intricacy that game, that rotational game, is getting right now. And obviously we're still some way away from launch, but I'm really excited about that aspect of the map.
If you're just joining us, this is the Update 2.10 no downtime stream. You should be able to go to the App Store right now, download and start playing Update 2.10 already. Get Lorelei. Lorelei is on discount, 25% off discount right now. This is a hero. Captain Primary can be played out of jungle or lane as well. The hero designer Sonata prefers her out of jungle. Really strong, really interesting backline hero that controls zones, that adds utility, and then all the other things in Update 2.10. So you can leave this stream and go play. We are sticking around for a little bit longer just to make sure that it's propagated to the App Store where you are, so that you have someone to hang out with in the interim, a chance to talk about 5v5. And if you put maybe your CEO hat on for a second, we just released this pre-registration page, a chance to sign up, maybe get into early access, get some exclusive rewards. It's kind of a milestone.
It's a huge milestone, and we've been really excited about the sheer volume of pre-registrations. We had no idea, frankly. we're excited about 5v5, of course, but we just had no idea that quite so many people were excited about 5v5. I'm hoping to be able to release some numbers at some point in time because they really are pretty overwhelming. But overall, it's a big milestone. And in some ways, a couple of years back when we were on stage with Apple at the Apple keynote, we felt like we were truly putting out something that we were incredibly proud of in terms of setting the next level of expectation for what gaming should be like on mobile devices. And it's been an incredibly fun journey, with our community and players and watching the esports scene blow up and all of that. But we feel like as we think about the rollout of 5v5, we have the same kind of, I feel like this sort of tingly feeling of, hey, we're truly, hopefully going to be able to show the next level in general for the industry.
And I'm sorry. And it does feel like the design perspective, the super evil company perspective or company ethos is really like not to dilute this experience, but really lean into everything that can make a 5v5 MOBA feel like magic and trust that players on mobile can handle that strategic depth, that complexity, that intricacy. Yeah,
absolutely. It is about no compromises. We are not dumbing anything down. We always think about how do we take the genre forward in general. Of course, we stand on the shoulders of giants in terms of PC MOBAs and innovations even on the mobile platform. And of course, we think about how do we learn from all of that. But at the same time, the core philosophy of gamers are gamers, whichever platform they play on, and they deserve the deepest strategies, the deepest tactical choices, rewarding mechanical skill, all of those things, and keeping that alive and making sure that we really cherish that in our 5v5 experience, I think is a really, really core driver of the design decisions going on. So I'm, as a gamer myself on multiple platforms, I'm just incredibly excited about how the game is evolving, regardless of which platform it's on.
So pre-registration was a major milestone. It feels like the next major milestone is probably the World Championship, the global unveiling of 5v5. As you think ahead to kind of Vainglory's homecoming to where it all began in Singapore, the World Championship and the unveiling of 5v5, tell me what you're thinking about that moment.
Well, it'll be amazing. I can't wait. I'll be there, of course, and just being able to finally show, even though it's still work in progress, like the 5v5 show match will not be played on the final map. We will still be polishing a lot of assets, and I know that the animators and the effects artists and all of that stuff will still feel like, hey, there's so much more that we can do. I can't believe you guys are showing this already when we haven't added this and we haven't added that and all that. But it'll be an amazing moment to just finally be able to unveil what it is that we are working on, because at the end of the day, one of the philosophies from the start, which I enjoyed so much as part of our early journey, was working on this game together with the Singapore and Filipino community of players, saying, hey, here it is, we have no menu options aside from play, and the minute you guys jump on, we will jump on, because you know what, otherwise you won't have anyone to play with. So starting from that moment to today, when the 3v3 experience is relatively mature out there, but to again be able to jump back into that mode where we're like, it's not finished yet, we're going to show it to you right now, and jump on board. Hopefully we can provide many people with early access and things where we can really shape the experience together and figure out what the meta should be and how to play this map. And working together with the community is one of the reasons I'm so excited about my job here, and being able to really jump back into that role at the World Championships should be super fun.
And it's pretty special, releasing first in Singapore our Kindred Asunder beta, putting something out there, not knowing if anyone would play it, if anyone would be interested in this kind of a game in the mobile platform, kind of the belief that the interest would be there, but not knowing if it actually would be, in the way that Singapore showed up for Vainglory, the way that Southeast Asia overall showed up for Vainglory. It feels like this is really an opportunity to celebrate that community and the Vainglory community at large at the World Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so fun whenever I log into Southeast Asia to still have so many of the friends that I used to play with, like literally 3 years ago in the very early experience out there. And it feels like we really owe it to that community that helped us shape the early experience so much to come back, celebrate the 5v5 launch, really sort of, if you like, push the button together on, hey, this is the adventure we're embarking on together, and it's super fun. Yeah, I really couldn't be more excited. I do need to maintain my rank on 3v3, but I will play. I'm very excited about Lorelei, of course, as a captain main. I think she's amazing. She's very strong, but she is also, like, the thing I appreciate about her kit is that sort of setting up battles. It's not just about, say, if you're, at the end of the day, if you're Catherine, you wait until, you look at when should you use your silence, when should you use your stun, and then just generally annoying people throughout the entire fight, trying to bait them into somehow attacking you. But with Lorelei, you actually have to sort of approach the fight thinking, where are we going to fight? How are we going to play the next 30 seconds? And let me set us up accordingly. And that then leads to either spectacular team fight wins or really embarrassing team fight losses. And but I really enjoy that tactical decision making, if you like.
For people who haven't played her, you can think about things like, when you're going in the choke point by the gold mine pit and you don't want to get caught there around a blue jewel or a sky, right? It's the same kind of mentality where it's like, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, Lorelei will really punish you or really set up her allies for success.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, so she's super fun. I'm really excited about her. But so I will be playing on 3v3 Live as well. But I'm just addicted to 5v5 at the moment. I just am.
Well, now you're just trolling the players who can't get in yet.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I also really suck at 5v5. I'm like, I'm sort of somewhere probably PO is silver. Is my live rating right now. I've been to gold, but I probably belong in bronze, to be honest, more or less. But in 5v5, I genuinely don't know if I can get out of getting started at this moment in time. It'll take me thousands of matches to even begin to learn it.
Well, but at least you can say right now you're probably one of the 70 or 80 best Vainglory 5v5 players in the world.
I am absolutely in the top 100 right now. Absolutely top 100 ranked 5v5 players at this moment in time. Yeah.
Too much anybody.
No, but it is. I think there is, though, the thing that I'm excited about as a long-term Vainglory player is just the opportunity for learning. I love this sort of trying to figure out the game. And with 5v5, with a much larger map, with all of the objectives, with all of the added additional elements to the game that we will no doubt be talking about over the coming months, just the sheer amount of things to learn and figure out and new mistakes to make is like infinite at this moment in time. So I'm certainly sort of burning my way through all of the obvious mistakes into the less obvious mistakes and all of that. But that just the opportunities that the larger map and all of the new things in the game will provide are just something that I think is super fun, just even as a player.
And while I've caught you completely off guard here, not expecting to be on the stream, is there anything I can get you to reveal before you have enough time to think about not doing that?
Not really. I'm about to walk into a meeting after this where the people in that meeting will not give me a very good time if I reveal things on stream. But we hopefully will have a bunch of reveals coming up over the coming months leading up to Worlds, because we do want to make sure that as you follow the show match game at Worlds, you will actually understand broadly what it is that is happening. And the game design, elements of game design are increasingly locked. So hopefully we'll be able to reveal some exciting things soon. I certainly can't wait. There is a lot to reveal, so and a lot of intricate detail that certainly the team has been working on. So
yeah, Shinkai already capturing footage for that. I see things on his screen every day. Go over to the other building now that we have and see all the artists and the hero designers and everybody working on all the 5v5 things. It's becoming very real.
It is, very much, yeah. It's super fun walking past the animators, screens and other things where we're doing all of the new things, and it's good. Although I will say that one of the other things about 2.10 that I'm particularly excited about is actually the ability to support esports teams.
Yeah. So I think most of you know if you've read the update notes, but what we're doing in Update 2.10 is pro team support badges. You can buy a badge. That badge will appear on the loading screen so you can support your favorite team, TSM, Cloud9, SK, whichever that team is, and that badge will persist through the end of the year. You can get multiple badges to support multiple teams, and 100% of the proceeds of that go straight back into Vainglory Competitive, go to support competitive prize pools, and go straight to the teams. If you open up the app and you don't see your favorite team in there right now, that's just because this is a brand new feature. We picked a select set of franchises, put them in, so we can take your temperature. Is this a feature you're interested in? Is this the kind of thing that you like? If so, we can look at expanding it or doing more badges, doing more interesting things. So make sure you give that feedback. Let us know if this is something we should invest in further. So if your team's not there, that's just because we had to draw the line somewhere. We're working on a lot of things, but we're very much looking forward to your feedback to see if this is something we should do more of.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you see me sporting a specific badge, that doesn't mean that I only support that team. I will also support many of the other teams. I will probably, rotate through most of the teams. I'm a big supporter of esports in general, and I love all the teams.
I might just, leave the queso badge up just so I can support the cheese.
The cheese deserves all the support. So it's good.
Absolutely. All right. So again, if you're joining us late, there is no real downtime here. If you're watching us because you think you can't play, you probably can. Go to the App Store of your choice now and attempt to download Update 2.10. If you don't see it yet, it's just still propagating in your area. That's the piece we don't really have control over when it shows up for you. So it should be any moment now if it's not up already. We're going to hang out for a bit just to make sure everyone can get in and can enjoy the game, but you should be able to go now. You should be able to play already. You should be able to check out Lorelei, the brand new hero, incredibly flexible hero, can be played in all 3 roles. The lore for this hero is amazing. Go read the stories, gives insight into the 5v5 map as well. So be sure to do that. For anyone who's just joining us, we will show the Lorelei Hero Spotlight that just debuted one more time right now and give our CEO Ed the Shred a chance to go work on some things.
Yeah.
And then,
all of the things, my rank mainly. One ask for the community, please carry me. I really have played poorly recently. I apologize to all of those people who've desperately tried to carry me and I've really let the team down. So I pledge to play more on live now to make sure that I can feel like the carry in those games as opposed to the person that you have to carry. So
and for the people saying, why are they going to show the spotlight again? That's because that's the way that I can put the thing on the screen so I can go see how we're doing with the propagation of the app stores and so that we can release him without him having to awkwardly get up.
Yeah, one more thing. Of course, we will be forcing the update in a little while. So once we know that the propagation is complete, people can download the new version. At that moment in time, you will no longer be able to play 2.9. So we're testing out this new way of deploying the game so that doesn't require downtime, fingers crossed, unless we decide last minute to require some downtime.
But it's pretty cool that, when you think back all the way to when this began, say in the Singapore, the Philippines days, occasionally I would stay up all night as deployments went a little bit sideways and we would have 10, 11, 12, 13-hour downtimes. Now,
we've certainly learned a thing or two. In 2 years, a thing or two is not too bad, right?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so with that, we're going to take a look at Vainglory's newest hero. One more time, I'll use that opportunity to see how we're doing with the propagation to the app stores. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for supporting the game, supporting the community, being a part of all of it, and we hope you love Update 2.10. Ed the Shred, thank you so much for taking a few minutes.
Thanks for having me. Get your friends to pre-register, 5v5. It's really important we get as many people playing in that first week when you can get the founding player badge. And the easiest way to get that is to pre-register. So get your friends to pre-register. Should be super fun.
And maybe get early access as well.
Maybe get early access. Absolutely.
Get in the game. Get to see him. Get to play games against him directly.
Yes. I will drop out of the top 100 players of 5v5 to something much lower.
Much
at
lower.
That point in time.
Myself as well.
Absolutely. But see you on the fold meanwhile in Update 2.10.
All right. So let's take a look at the Lorelei Hero Spotlight, and then I'll be back maybe to wrap up.
You look like you need a hug. I understand. A solo queue is hard sometimes. Maybe join a guild.
Get off my lawn.
And a beautifully manicured lawn it is.
Watching you fight is like watching a fish attempt to jog up a mountain.
That's quite specific.
Blade!
No, my friend.
Now time to bleed!
So salty.
Welcome to the Vainglory Hero Spotlight, featuring Lorelei. Lorelei is a happy sea creature who enjoys her simple life of piranha dancing and clam gossip. Once every 1,000 years, she follows Adagio's song to the surface and brings him a dragon egg in exchange for a hearty orange. But one day, the Storm Queen sings Adagio's song and takes several eggs away. Only then does Lorelei discover that the dragons are being used to destroy the race of men. Now, aware of the truth and her complicity, Lorelei is determined to make up for releasing widespread destruction upon the world. Lorelei is a hero who controls the ebb and flow of teamfights, and it all revolves around her heroic perk, That's Swell. Whenever she casts one of her abilities, it creates a water source on the battlefield for a few seconds. Standing in the water empowers Lorelei, passively granting her bonus crystal power. The next ability that she casts while in water will gain an additional effect and consume the water source. Her basic attacks also deal bonus crystal damage, and that damage scales with her overall crystal power. Lorelei's first ability, Fish Food, targets a location and after a brief delay, summons her pet clam to stun all nearby enemies. Afterward, a pool of piranhas will persist and deal damage over time to enemies inside. If Fish Food is cast while standing in a water source, the clam will snap shut and stun sooner. Lorelei's Splashdown throws a spear of water at a target location, creating a pool after a brief delay. Allied heroes that move through the pool are sped up, while enemy heroes are slowed down. If Splashdown is cast while standing in a water source, the pool is created much sooner. Lorelei's ultimate, Water Wall, forms a protective bubble around an allied hero or herself that grants a large barrier. Once the barrier expires, a splashdown water source will appear underneath the hero, allowing for a quick speed boost to either flee or chase down enemies. Additionally, upon casting the ultimate, her target is cleansed of all movement impairing effects. If Water Wall is cast while standing in a water source, the barrier that she grants will be bigger and the protection greater. Consuming water sources to empower Lorelei's abilities is advantageous, but sometimes it's best to wait. Standing in a water pool grants a huge amount of crystal power, and that also translates into additional damage on her basic attacks. If you have a Fish Food water source out, those hungry piranhas will deal extra damage as long as Lorelei is splashing about. Smart use of the water sources to empower Lorelei's abilities is absolutely critical to turning the tides of battle. Here, the enemy team engages onto the Rhine. Lorelei swims to her ally's aid and casts a Fish Food before following it up with a Splashdown. The combination of the slowing field and the damaging pool make it difficult for the enemy heroes to finish off Rhine, and soon, those little fishies make quick work of the rebooting Alpha. Then, with her team in pursuit of the Arden, she jumps into the water source to cast a quick Splashdown to speed up her allies. When she reaches the edge of her new water source, she uses an empowered Fish Food to deliver a stun, allowing her team to catch up and send Arden to his watery grave. Lorelei is great at shaping the battlefield to her advantage and limiting the enemy's movements. In this clip, Lorelei manages to catch Adagio out of position. The enemy Arden and Jewel rush to his aid, but this Naga has different plans for them. Once Jewel uses her Rocket Leap, Lorelei uses her Fish Food and Splashdown combo to stop Jewel in her tracks, cutting her off from the rest of the team. Then, Lorelei puts a second Fish Food down, blocking any kind of escape. With Jewel stuck between a rock and a hungry pool of piranhas, she quickly falls to the Naga Dragon duo, and Lorelei's team gets to clean up the rest of the fight. Thanks for watching the Lorelei Hero Spotlight. Next, discover her backstory filled with dragons and a familiar face. See you next time.
All right, I am back, and I am told, wherever your app store is, whichever your app store is, should all have update 2.10 there and ready to download right now. This was our first no downtime update, where the moment we started the process, you could go to the app store and should be able to find the app. And so they tell me I don't need to be here anymore because everyone can go play Vainglory. Based on the stream numbers, I think most of you have already left and are already playing the game. We are going to show just show off the skins in the update really quick. In addition to Radagio, we have Frankenflicker and Cage Fighter Arden. We're going to show off those skins, and then I'll sign off. But you can go play. All right, let's start. Shinkaigen, which one do you want to start with? All right, so let's start with Dr. Frankenflicker, a really fun skin coming in this update. Take a look at it right now. And that was a quick little tease. And now let's take a look at Cage Fighter Arden versus Meat Truck.
Coming to the Halcyon Arena, the two-time champion meets face-to-face with Meat Truck in a classic Iron Man matchup for the ages. Will Arden, the pride of the Eventides, defend his title, or will his confidence be his ultimate mistake? Tune in to find out.
All right, drops the elbow, and I'm back. And those are two of the skins. Radagio is the third skin. Everyone should be able to get in. So let's go play. I'm going to go jump in, maybe play a game with me, have fun in Update 2.10. Really, really excited for the new hero and for the changes in this update. Maybe grab a pro badge if you're interested in supporting Vainglory Esports. And as always, just really, really appreciate you for being a part of this community, for supporting this game, for choosing this game over all of the other options out there. Please know that you're appreciated, and we're so excited for 5v5, all the other things that we have in store through the end of the year and beyond into 2018. The wild ride continues. So with that, let's go play 2.10. Thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.